This could be a big mistake.
Mistake?
If they could do that to a wall, imagine what they could do to our heads.
For sure. And our heads are nowhere near that thick.
Speak for yourself.
Turtles. Yeah, and we didn't make that hole, you wacko.
Oh no.
What's up, you shellheads, and welcome to another exciting edition of Turtle Talk. As always, I'm one of your faithful hosts, Diamond Dave Wonder. With me, as always, is my faithful fellow host, the bitterest of marks, Dan. What up, Dan?
Hey, what's going on, man? Big show today.
Right, and this is going to get hella confusing tonight because with us is one of the foremost experts on Ninja Turtles, the legendary Pixel Dan. What's up?
Let me get off mute. What's up, everybody? How's it going?
Smart
Expert. guy. Man, you just, I don't know. It's
Hey,
a lot
man,
of pressure when you're just going to throw me out there and be like, expert on Ninja Turtles. All these guys in the chat would probably school me.
I know at least half of them wouldn't. And that said, with
they've
love.
been, and I will say they've been extremely nice to me as well. I am definitely not a turtle expert for somebody who has their name attached to a show called Turtle Talk. Have no fear of our chat. They are very accommodating and welcoming.
That's
Awesome.
very, very true. And
Awesome.
if I do refer to the COJ, that is what the chat actually lovingly named themselves. They are the consortium of jackasses.
Beautiful.
Loyal subscribers and viewers of this show. So if I say COJ, just for a little in talk, that's so I'm not like having a stroke or anything. I'm good. Like I'm not freaking out.
I love it.
But yeah, man, it's awesome to have you on. I know we've been talking for a little bit to try and get you onto something, but
it's crazy. I feel so bad that I feel like I've been ducking you for a long time. But
you're a busy man. You're a busy man.
It's wild. You know, like I got 2 little kids, and so that really takes up like a big portion of my time. And you know, I work a day job too, and then I got all this toy stuff I'm doing and book stuff I'm doing. It's a really crazy like wrestling stuff.
I was gonna say you're a man of many hats.
I wear many hats for sure. But you know what? It's a good life, so I can't complain. It's busy, but it's good. It's good.
Heck yeah, dude. Real quick shout out to folks in the chat. We got Big Mo, Chris, Quinn, Shaggy, Brio, Mitch. Mitch Falcon is our lovely AI, who's not an AI but insists that he is. We got Mr. Allmind, Mr. Geeky in the chat. Dude Retro says, "Hey Dan, I'm guessing that's to both."
It's always going to be Pixel Dan.
I'm outnumbered here. Just Dan-vasion.
You guys want to call me P Danny? Will that clear things?
P Danny.
That's what everybody likes to call me online.
That'll confuse me more.
You can thank Brian Flynn for that.
Right. That's very true. Dan wears many hats. Dave wears many beanies. True story.
Nice.
But yeah, man, I figured we'd start off. Everybody knows that Dan and me pretty well, and you've been around and been on YouTube and everything for so long. But I feel like everybody knows your love of Mosquito.
Yeah.
But like, let's get to the turtle side of Pixel Dan.
Sure.
So I have the kind of like core questions that we kind of toss at some guests and whatnot. I thought this would be kind of a fun way of getting the chat into it as well. Real quick, what got you into Turtles?
So it was definitely the action figures is where it all started for me with the Turtles. And it's cool because like Motu is such a big part of my childhood and my collector life and everything, but like I was born the same year that Motu came out, 1982, right? So even though I remember it being such a big portion of my childhood, I don't actually remember when I got my first He-Man or Skeletor. I just remember them always being there.
Sure.
Yeah.
I remember getting my first Ninja Turtle. And it was at a Hills department store. I don't know if anybody remembers Hills.
Sure.
They were fantastic. I know they're around here in the Midwest and I think out on the East. But it was an awesome department store that had just one of the most epic toy sections. I remember loving that place as a kid. And it was a summer day. And I remember being at the store with my mom and probably my little brother at the time. And my mom handed me a Donatello and said, hey, look at these. These look kind of cool. And I was immediately attached to it. And so she bought it for me that day. And like, I have the very specific memory of it being a summer day because I remember going home that day, playing in like our little kiddie pool in the backyard.
Awesome.
And then coming inside where my mom had laid a towel out in front of the TV, had a sandwich on a plate for me, and had my Ninja Turtle open and ready for me to start playing with. So I specifically remember coming in the summer day, sitting down, playing with Donatello for the first time. And then it was just, that was right at the beginning when we were about to be hit with the onslaught of just turtles everywhere. Yeah. So it was
Your
like,
mom just teed you right up to be primed and ready to dive into turtles. That's
look,
great.
she was the same way with Motu. I talk to her about it all the time still. Like, she remembers chasing down all these figures for me and like hunting down new characters and everything. So it's really cool because like she coasted straight into it for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
sure.
it was her recognizing something new and cool and going, hey, my son, check this out. And
Here
then
you are.
And then I was hooked.
Congratulations. And I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I guess that kind of takes care. I'm guessing, but that takes care of who your favorite turtle is.
Actually, it does not. It does
Really?
not. So
I know the answer to this question.
Donatello was my first. Raphael is my favorite.
Ooh.
And I know that he's like, oh, he's just the angry one and he's everybody's favorite, but he's always been my favorite and I'm not changing that.
You're an OG Ref fan.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Was there anything that caused you to switch, or not even switch? Just what drew you to Raphael compared to anybody else?
His weapons. I loved the size.
Awesome.
Seriously, I loved the size. And one of those things I remember specifically when I was a kid is I always wanted like toy size to play with, but like I could never find them anywhere. And I always remember like when it was Halloween time and like you would have like weapons out for ninja costumes. And like every now and then I'd be like, Mom, can we just buy these size? And she'd be like, no, we're not buying these. You're not, what I, so it drove me nuts. And
did you eventually ever get them?
I never did. I never got any toy size.
Obviously, they exist now. Yeah,
they're everywhere now. Yes, gosh, that's one of the things I talked about. Like when the 2012 series was going strong, like there were ninja weapons everywhere, I remember looking at that going, they didn't really have that when I was a kid. Like there were some, but not to the extent that they were out.
Right now, they were everywhere. And they're all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you see Pixel Dan at a show, bring him some size.
Right, yeah, great.
Just pile those up, especially if it's a flying show. Go through PSA. What the hell? All right. You got Raph as your favorite, right?
Raph's my favorite. Yeah.
Who are your top 3 characters, non-turtle characters from TMNT?
So just in general, like it doesn't matter like what from specifically.
Yeah.
No, movies, TV, cartoon,
toys,
whatever.
Okay. So definitely Casey Jones. Love Casey Jones. Muckman.
Oh, that was a layup, yeah.
Muckman and Mutagen Man. Mutagen Man was always one of my favorite figures in the vintage toy line. I guess he would kind of be like my Mosquitor of the vintage figure line because I loved Mutagen Man as a kid. Like there was something about, the clear torso and seeing all his guts inside and everything. Clearly you can see the kind of toys that I like. They're very similar.
Yeah. But okay. Here's a quick question for you then. That Super 7 like neon glow in the dark Mutagen Man.
I got him sitting over here.
I was gonna say, like, how quick were you to just go, oh my god?
I mean, it's a glow-in-the-dark toy and it's mutagen, man. So they hooked me. I mean, they didn't even have to try, right? They didn't have to try. I was just sold on that because I love glow-in-the-dark toys. It's one of my favorite gimmicks, and it's one of those things too where you look at that and you're just like, what is this even supposed to be? It's not really based on anything, but oh my god, it looks so cool. Like the colors are just awesome, and I love like the gold on there looks really cool, and that I don't know, it's awesome. I love it.
It's a beautiful figure. It's been one of those where I'm just like, I don't have the space. Like it has all it hits all the right notes. I was born in '87, so I'm a '90s kid. So like neon plus turtles, like plus glow in the dark. It's like, sign me up.
I'm pretty blown away that I'm just getting so many toys of that character, like within the same year or 2 years. I mean, because we got
6 months.
The Ultimates one, and then that glow in the dark version of the Ultimates one, and then the Neca one, and then the Reaction one. I'm like, this is crazy.
Where have we been for the last 10 years?
Yeah, that just came out too. So it's like all of a sudden Mutagen Man's just like, he's got 1 million figures, and that's crazy to me. I love
Everything's coming up Millhouse.
Yeah.
All right, then from there, top 3 figures in your collection.
Top 3 Ninja Turtles figures in my collection?
Yeah. I mean, cross line.
So
before you answer, do you have a complete vintage set?
I do not have a complete vintage set.
That's fine.
There's quite a few that I'm still trying to track down, especially a lot of the later things. But I got a lot of my favorites actually in a case in here in my studio, so I can kind of look over at them. It's really hard to narrow down something like so I love, there's so many cool like shiny ones, like back metalized shiny toys, especially towards the end. So I want to go ahead and say that this guy is not obscure or rare or anything like that, but Metalhead is easily one of my favorite figures from the vintage line. He's just, I love everything from the Vac Metal gold chest to the the light piping eyes, and then the interchangeable parts on his hand. I mean, he is just a good toy.
Yeah.
If we want to get like kind of weird and everything, I really love oh my god, I'm blanking. Why am I blanking on the name? See, this is what's really bad. Winged Warrior Donatello.
Oh shit!
So that's the one where he's like all black, but he's got like the purple bandana, so it just looks real sick. The black and purple look so good together. And then he's got like those crazy like dinosaur wings or dragon wings, and like the Vac metalized armor. He is beautiful. One of my favorite figures from that.
Mitch says
Robot's always a good choice. Yes. So I'll go ahead and throw him in there. So that's 2 of them, right?
Yep.
What is another really good one? So I don't want to. Oh, I know what it is. It's the Savage Leonardo from the Forgotten Sewers line.
Oh, right on.
Basically, He-Man Leonardo.
Yeah, I was gonna say
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's the other one.
By the power of his shell. Okay, then final question before we dive into the crazy news, which you were actually a big part of this last week.
Hey, how about that?
So we'll get rolling on that for sure.
Sure.
What are the top 3 wants for your collection?
Okay, so I've actually knocked off some pretty good stuff in the past couple years here. I got Scratch. I got Hotspot. I would love. It's funny because most of the things I'm trying to get is more like things to complete a lot of these figures. Like I have most of Scratch's accessories, but I don't have everything. I don't have any of Hotspot's accessories. So stuff like that are definitely at like the top of my list. I would love to get that. I would love to get Winged Warrior Leonardo to go with Winged Warrior Donatello. They're awesome and they're very expensive. Sumo Mikey and both of the Sumo Turtles really.
Yeah.
I'll put them in one spot though because they're basically the same thing. And what's another good one that I've been really looking at? Tyranno Shredder.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, Tyranno Shredder. He is so expensive, but he's so awesome. I love the dinosaur turtles too. I've got Ankleo and Stego. What is it? Stego Donnie, I think, and then Mikey's the Triceratops. Yeah, so those are great.
That was such a wonderfully weird. I mean, most of those later ones where they were kind of stretching were so wonderful and weird.
Yeah,
They weren't just stretching at the end. They were I mean, we got football Leonardo like very early. You know what I mean?
Yes, that's the thing, and that's actually what the reality is. Like, the crazy thing about that toy line is it lasted for so long that like it, a lot of us outgrew it. Because that line was still going while I was like a junior in high school or a senior in high school. I was out of toys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I missed all these really amazing things that came at the end, which all of us did, which is why those things are all so expensive now.
Yeah.
Because now we're all trying to track down the crazy dinosaurs and all that stuff. The winged warriors. That stuff all came out at the end of the 90s. So it's crazy.
I've told the story a few times, because again, I had no attachment to the end of the line because I was I was kind of out of it. Yeah. And I remember there was a scratch on card in a hardware Hank in northern Minnesota. This is like 7-8 years ago, just sitting. And
for months, For months.
Yeah. Oh, this was years. Like, it had been there since I was a little kid. Like, I'd go in there and I didn't care about Scratch.
Right.
Like, it was just like, oh, cool, a turtle figure. Oh, it's Scratch.
Nobody did. It's
weird.
I
brought it up front and I was like, hey, because I was at the point of like, oh my God, this is a really rare figure. So I brought it up front because I've known the people for friggin' ever. I grew up going into that hardware store when I'd be up north. And I'm like, hey, this is a really expensive figure. They're like, are you going to pay the $5.99 or not? And I was like, sold.
That's amazing.
Like, do you still have it carded?
No, I ended up selling. It when we were trying to save up money for the house and everything. And I was like, it was an easy. Like, I had no attachment, and I was just like, yeah, this is moving on.
Yeah, at a certain point, I mean, even if you're super interested, at a certain threshold or tipping point, the value of these things just goes too high where you can't justify not putting food on the table for your kid.
Exactly.
Having a carded scratch.
Got that Dalmatian, damn it.
yeah, that hotspot. Yeah, that's the Dalmatian. So that's crazy. Right. The funny thing about like Scratch and even Hotspot, I don't know, I like Hotspot better than Scratch actually, but yeah, I think Scratch is not that cool looking of a character at all, to be perfectly honest. And like, I didn't know about Scratch, like, because he came out at the end of the line, and I literally didn't know about him until people were already going, oh, Scratch, oh, and I was just like, why? That's an ugly figure. It doesn't look like any of the other,
it was so out of place
from the line. He seems out of place, and the funny thing about him is it's like the legend of Scratch has elevated him to this level of being this like super rare, super obscure figure, when the reality is like some of those other figures I listed off are far more rare and far more valuable than Scratch is. But but Scratch is like etched in the mind of everybody as like the grail of TMNT.
Just because of the lore. Yeah, absolutely.
Just because of the lore. Yeah, absolutely.
I totally agree with you. Like a guy like, even if Casey Jones, right? I love the figure, but he's how do I want to say this? Like,
a common figure.
Yeah, very, very common. But I feel like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's no nostalgia attached to Scratch at all. Like, if you want a Scratch and you only want it because of the lore and the story behind it.
Right, exactly.
If you want a Casey Jones, it's because you grew up playing with him in the sandbox.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And like, there's probably some people out there that are like, I had Scratch as a kid, I want that. But you're right. The majority of people, they want it because they're either trying to complete their collection or because they know it's a rare figure and they want to have a rare figure.
It's a quest item, like, I mean, it's that thing of like, one of the few, like one of those few rarities that I'm like, oh my God, I want to find someday, is that Vac Metal. It's Metalhead, but it's painted as Mikey. Sure. And that's just because I'm a Mikey guy.
I love that one.
Right? It's so cool. I found it once and it legit looked like someone played with it in the sandbox, and I'm like, it looked like someone took confetti and just went like there was nothing left on him.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's a weird one too. And then like there's also like the Chrome Dome that they re-released that he's just blue instead of silver. Yeah. And that's another one that's like super rare. And that one
popped up locally. A local collector named Scott Lamont got his hands on one, and it was so cool to see. Like, I think all three of us are very much in the boat of, while we're collectors, it's also just really cool to see that stuff. Like, whether you can get it or
once in a lifetime kind of stuff, but like, not everyday turtle stuff. I totally agree with you.
I found that one at a comic book toy shop like a couple years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago. in a baggie with a bunch of other, like there was a rack of turtles all in baggies, and he was in the back, and he had a $5 price tag on him.
Yeah.
And I scooped it up. I was like, oh my God, like what? Like I ran out of that store like I robbed that place. I couldn't believe. I was like, that they had no idea this is crazy.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel bad about that, but right, that's how it goes, right? Like that's just how the hunt goes. So
that was like I said, that was that scratch. I brought it up front, and they were like, "Are you gonna pay the $5 or $4.99 or what?"
I get into this on the Flips and Bumps podcast. I get into this all the time. You can't feel bad about a price that somebody else is asking you to pay. Like when I go to a garage sale and I ask about a bin of toys, my first question is, how much do you want for this? I'm not, if I'm offering, if you're saying you want $300 and I'm saying, no, here's $20, take it or leave it, that's kind of a D move, right? But if you're saying you only want $20 for it and I haven't said anything, then me paying $20 is just me following your price. And same thing.
It's not like I walked up to the counter and I was like, that's probably only worth like $5.
Right, exactly.
Like they had a price tag on it and I paid what the price tag.
That's totally on that.
Chaos Vision in the chat said, if I can find my turtle collection, I'll send them to you, Pixel Dan.
Whoa.
There you go.
Where did you lose it?
Dude, although I have a
super
couple
nice
friends
of you, man.
who,
That's cool.
you know, when you're growing up, you know, you have those couple friends that you play with and everything. And I had a friend who had, I shit you not, every single turtle figure. Like his folks would just be like, "Cool, here you go," and I'm like, "Where those? What? Like, what are these?" Like, I had no idea. And I talked to him a couple months ago, and he's like, "Yeah, I have no idea what happened to that."
Oh
and
yeah,
I'm like, That?
Well,
dude, you had like totes full.
I mean, I think about that stuff all the time, though, because I know there's a lot of things that I know I had as a kid, and I'm just like, I don't know whatever happened to that. I'm sure at some point my mom cleaned out my room and got rid of stuff.
Yeah, garage sale threw something out.
Yeah. Like, we gave my entire childhood Ninja Turtles collection to some kids down the street when I got
that's awesome.
I mean, I just, you know, like they were younger kids, and my mom was like, "Hey, why don't you see if they want your turtles?" And I was like, "Okay," and I just took it to them. You know, you don't think about that stuff back then. And you know what? Yeah, they got enjoyed by some other kids, and that's more important.
That's a sentiment that I run into a lot when I vend at video game shows, where I'll have just the person who's not necessarily a video game collector, but they'll walk by my booth and they'll see, you know, I've got a glass case full of games that are $200, $400, $600, $100, $50, games that are like high up in price. And the guy's going through the case. Oh, I had that one. I had that one. I had that one. And the last thing he always says is, "I wish I never got rid of that stuff."
Yeah. You hear that a lot.
You hear that all the time, but you can't have that mindset with video games or toys or anything, because what are you going to do? Hang on to everything you ever owned and then just never let it go?
Right.
You're going to end up being a hoarder and not having any room, and maybe 5% of that is going to pan out, and then value-wise is going to go up.
Well, just like comics is saying, I sold my vintage collection to, you know, pay for school. Is
that a mistake though? You paid for college.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm just saying it's, you know, there's a lot of reasons for getting rid of things, whether it's passing it on to someone, whether it's selling something for a better or a bigger cause, you know, stuff like that. I didn't know, like, my turtles and stuff ended up in a duffel bag underneath my parents' steps, and like I thought they legit were like gone for maybe a year or two. And I went under to get like the Christmas decorations out one time, like when I was home from school. I'm like, holy shit!
Oh, Christmas came early.
Nice.
I was so stoked.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, it's one of those things that you're absolutely right. Like what Dan was saying is absolutely right, because most people that are not actually collecting stuff right now, that's their first reaction when they find out you're collecting things or that you know things, is always value related. Well, what does that go for now? How much is that worth? How much does that sell? And I hate that question, because to me that's not what matters most. To me it's like how I feel about these things and why I'm collecting them, and is there nostalgia attached to it. Like, I don't care about what it's going for at the moment. Some people collect for that, and that's fine, but me personally, that's not what I do. And then when Dan was also saying things like, "Oh, I wish I would have never sold that because of how much they're worth now," they never think about like, okay, but now, like, how are you going to sell it? Who are you going to sell it to? Are you willing to tote it around to all these conventions for 4 years and maybe not sell it at all? Or, you know what I mean? It's not like just because
Absolutely.
something's worth $400, that's instantly $400 in your pocket.
That's
like
a great
that's
point.
not
Yeah, whether it's in person or
yeah.
eBay or Facebook or however you're selling it, there's a ton of work that goes into behind it.
So
Yeah,
much
that's a great
yeah.
aspect to look at it. Just sadly,
Yeah.
most people don't have that aspect on it.
Exactly.
Mitch Falcon put it a really nice way. The stuff may be gone, but you'll always have that enjoyment you had.
Yes.
You know, because like for me, my old boss at the comic shop said I'm a really great fan, but a shitty collector, because I've never been, you know, oh, I want that because it's valued at this. I'm always like, you know, I want the you know, shiny Mikey because he's a shiny Mikey. Like
Yeah.
you know, like it's not because of the rarity, it's because of
Obviously both types of fans are, like, collectors or fans are fine, and they're both just as good as the other one. But like for me personally, I'd rather be a fan than a collector.
yeah.
I feel like a fan, you can appreciate every aspect of it, versus a collector being more based on the value of things. To me, I agree with what Dan was saying. Just doesn't hit me in the heart, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We got Tussler in the chat. David's a regular contributor to Turtle Talk. He said, I also hate when the first question people ask me is, wow, how much is that worth?
I do too. And you know, unfortunately, as somebody who's does this on YouTube, I get that all the time, every day. Like people will stumble across a video of anything I'm doing and they will instantly send me an email and they'll want me to like price all their stuff or tell them how to sell their stuff. And that's just not something I can do for everybody. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
I've only been doing this 9 months and I'm getting that already.
Oh,
it's like, whoa.
I know. It's like, it's not that I don't want to help people, but it's like I don't really do that. That's not my thing. You know what I mean? So it's like it's hard, but like you have to just tell people like, well, you know, just do a little research. Like you're gonna have to like Google stuff, get on Facebook, poke around. That's what you have to do to figure this out.
Put in the legwork.
Yeah, I can't sit here and price out your collection.
Real quick for you, Dan, Bryo in the chat said, just want to say to Pixel Dan, I got my nephew into Turtles back in 2012, and we both used to watch your reviews and then go to TMNT hunting at the malls.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is amazing.
The crazy thing is, Bryo today found a Turflytle figure on card at the mall. He posted it up. I think I put it up on Instagram.
That's amazing.
Blew my mind.
You know what? I had so much fun during the 2012 era. It was like, I don't know, it was a really fun resurgence for the brand. And it was like, it was just really cool experiencing that whole thing. And it's really mind blowing to me that was 10 years ago already. Like, I have met people at conventions that are adults that tell me they used to watch my Turtles videos when they were kids. And that is,
wow.
That is weird.
You're an old man. Gee.
I will say this, Dan. You have helped welcome in a new generation of 2012 fans, though, because this last summer, my son and I, because it was hot as balls up here in the Midwest, we go outside and play. We'd come in, watch Ninja Turtles. Well, the 2012 series isn't like high dollar items for the most part. So like we'd go to these swaps and stuff and find, you know, these figures. So he's developed a collection. That's great. So when he go, did they make a toy of this? I go, well, we can ask Pixel Dan. We go on YouTube to your channel and search for the guy, and he'd lose his mind.
Man,
that's awesome.
I think I reviewed that entire line. Like I made it like a mission. I was like, I want to cover every single piece that comes out for this line. I am not doing that with the current stuff. I can't keep up.
I can't.
Dude,
it's too much. But it was real fun doing it.
I do want to ask about that because you've been doing YouTube for 10 plus years.
Almost 15 now.
Almost 15 years, right?
15, yeah.
And now you're still pumping out as many reviews as you always have been, whether it's Neca or it's Super 7 or whatever it is. And I'm just talking about turtle stuff. Yeah. So my question is for collecting now. I get that I don't care if they're sending it to you, if you're actually buying stuff. I just want to know, what are you collecting? Like, what do you keep? Are you trying to be a completionist on any of these new lines before we get into all the reveals of the new stuff?
That's a great question. Well, first of all, I am buying most of it. I know that's one of those things people ask about, or I get a lot of crap for that a lot too. But I don't get
small-minded on their side.
Yeah. Man, look, I've been doing this for 15 years. I've been getting that crap for 15 years. That's just the way it is. I don't get every single thing for free. Every now and then when there's a specific piece that they want to help get some extra promotion on or send my way, I get something. I don't get everything. I've really been taking advantage of Neca's pre-order stuff to get most of the things now. I'm so glad that they started doing that, because I could never find that stuff at my local Target. I was relying on I was relying on people to help me find most of the stuff that I was getting. But right now, I am still going pretty much all in on both Super 7 and Neca's Turtles. It is killing me, though. It is. Because the problem is that I just love it all so much. Like, I think it's so cool that they are doing their own things, and we're getting like all these different versions of these characters. But I mean, gosh, now Neca's diving into like the Archie comics territory, and we're getting more Mirage stuff.
Give up Leonardo, you cowards!
Yeah, where's Leo? Yeah, oh my God, Jim Lee Leo would be amazing,
right?
I've loved everything that Neca's been doing for so long. I really love the movie stuff. I think the movie stuff is phenomenal, but I love the Ultimates figures from Super 7. And it really ties to the fact that I've got so much nostalgia for the vintage Playmates line, that seeing those figures plussed up, sculpted by the Four Horsemen. I mean, Masters of the Universe Classics was such a big part of my collecting life for so long, because they were Four Horsemen taking my favorite toys as a kid for Motu and updating them. And now I'm getting the exact same thing for Turtles. It's like, that's my two favorite lines, like being brought back for, like, you know, so I love it. I love it so much. It's all so expensive.
It really is.
Dan, I gotta introduce you sometime. And you might already talk to him, but Fan Plastic 4, Alex, on Instagram. He's actually one of the sculptors who's working on the Super 7 Turtles.
Oh yeah?
Hella cool dude. He's on Tiny Ming Tuesday often, so maybe we'll get both of you on here sometime and do an Ultimate.
Dude, they're doing amazing work with that stuff. I mean, like, and here's the thing, I'm so far behind. I haven't done videos on any of the last two waves from Super 7 or any of the recent NECA stuff. I think I got some of the recent NECA stuff I did. I did like, I think I did Ground Chuck and
Dirtbag.
Dirtbag. I did that set. But like I've got Muckman and the Pizza Aliens and like all this stuff. So I'll just sit like here, look, my table's a mess over here. I'll just kind of look at this nonsense. Is it focusing? Look at that stuff. Look at all that.
At least they're unboxed.
Beautiful.
For me, that's half the battle with this NECA and Super 7 stuff. Just getting them unboxed and undoing all that stuff, loosening up all the joints. It's a task.
It is. It really is. Like what I started doing is I started doing like live unboxings over on my Patreon. Hey, there's a plug.
Smart.
Patreon.
Very smart.
So I do live unboxings for this stuff with my Patreon crew, and then we just kind of like first impressions and kind of hang out and talk about it, and then that way everything's prepped and ready for me to go when I want to actually shoot a review for everything.
Very smart.
Yeah.
Good use of your time.
Saves you a bit of time. Actually, there was a quick one more quick question before we hop into the news. Collecting with Chris asks, what is your definitive version of the Turtles?
Good question.
Ooh, that is a really hard question.
Right?
Because I like so many different
versions.
What up, you boys?
Hey.
Honestly, probably like a lot of the times when I think of the Turtles, I still think about those first four original figures from Playmates Toys. And those are just kind of like my favorite iterations of them.
It's where it started.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with that. I'm going to go with that.
All right.
Well, there's so many good choices.
Oh my God.
I want to get into, I got one more question for Dan before we get into the.
They're not all good. I'm just throwing that out
I love the Jim Lee stuff. I mean, I love them for what they are.
No, I know.
One more question. We talked about how your mom got you into collecting. How she didn't force it down your throat, but she definitely kickstarted you down the turtle lane.
Sure.
You said you have two kids. Where are the kids at with collecting? Are they into turtles? Are they into other stuff?
So they,
if you want to talk about it, I mean, I don't want to get too personal on the family stuff.
My youngest is only 2, so he's just now kind of really discovering things. And it's funny, his favorite thing to do right now is carry swords around the house and sword fight. So like he stole my He-Man power sword, and he runs around and he holds the sword up, and it's just the most amazing thing ever. But my oldest is 8 now, and I always tried to let him find his own path. I never wanted to like force my loves on him. Now, of course, I showed him, Hey, check out He-Man. Hey,
He's
check out
influenced.
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So he never cared about He-Man for a long time. He did get into Ninja Turtles, and he and I watched the entirety of the 2012 series together, and he loved it. And he's actually got a bunch of he's got one of the big sewer play sets still up in his room that he still plays with, and he's got several figures from the vintage line and the 2012 line that he kind of intermingles and plays with. So that's really cool. His things though, like he's discovered his own stuff. Like his favorite things are Ben 10. He loves Ben 10, which is awesome because I actually really like Ben 10 too. It's been a fun thing to like enjoy with him. Like I started watching it because he was watching it, and I was like, this is pretty awesome. So he really loves Ben 10. He really loves anything with the Incredible Hulk. He loves Hulk. Loves Hulk. But because of the current Netflix He-Man cartoon, all of a sudden he cares about He-Man.
He's in.
He is in. He loves that new series, like the CG series.
Big chunky boys.
Yeah, he loves it. And so, like, he's been swiping all the figures from me that I get to review, and I just let him play with all of those, and he keeps asking me when new episodes are coming, and like I couldn't be happier because he's like, "Oh my god, my kid's asking me about He-Man. This is great." Right? So
it's one thing that it's He-Man, but it's just the fact that he's passionate about something is very, very cool. That's awesome. He's a toy kid for sure. He loves his toys.
I think all of us are fathers of boys. I just realized.
Yeah, no girls. Right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I got number 2 on the way in June, so I'm like,
nice.
All right, starting new, so, new adventure and anxiety. But all right, we're gonna pop over to the news real quick. So I'll pop this up on screen. I figured we had to start with the obvious here.
Yeah.
Sorry for yoinking your thumbnail there.
I've seen this thumbnail somewhere.
That's okay.
But, real quick, we have Neca coming out strong with the Secret of the Ooze movie box set.
Yeah.
That revealed exclusively on the Pixel Dan channel. So please make sure to go over and check that out.
Great video.
Thank you. This is what I wanted all along. I've talked about it on here plenty of times. That VHS packaging. I'm like, if they give us a 4-pack of Samurai Turtles, I'm done.
Oh, so we get the. I almost wonder. You know what? At this point, I wouldn't be surprised because I remember when Randy told me they would never do Turtles 2, and look where they are now.
Right.
So I won't be surprised by anything now.
I was gonna say, dude, they're so into everything. I'm like it. That I think legit. If they put out that Turtles 3 4-pack, I'd be like, all right, I'm out. I'm out of the line.
I'm done. When they started this, I don't think they realized just how big.
Right.
Look, they messed around and found out, right? Like they found out how big the fan base is for this stuff, and that's why they're like all in now. It's awesome,
right?
Awesome.
I would argue it's probably their biggest brand between the cartoon and
I mean, it's getting the most focus out of everything they're doing. It seems like. So yeah.
It is so first off, I gotta say, Dan, great friggin' interview with this because I was marking the hell out when I was watching it the entire time.
And it's awesome. I really appreciate because Neca reached out and offered this to me, and that really meant a lot, to be perfectly honest, because like things have been so weird the past couple years, and one of the things that like I feel like I built my brand on with my channel was going to these shows and getting to do these like
interviews,
one-on-one, like intimate, let's talk about all your stuff type videos, like it's something that I feel pretty confident is like I kind of built that, it's
for
one
sure.
of those, and not being able to do that for the past 2 years now has been hard. At first it was not a big deal because it was like, I'll figure out how to navigate it. But I got to a point where I was depressed that I wasn't doing it anymore,
Yeah.
And you watch all these toy companies, like obviously things are shifting now, and that's fine. This is how things go. Nothing lasts forever, and you've got to find a good way to pivot and maneuver around things. Moving, and most of these toy companies have all figured out how to just do this on their own now. They all do their own live streams and they do their own whatever, and they don't like need me anymore, it feels like. But I thought it was so cool that they reached out and they were like, hey, we want to do this reveal with you, and we'll do a chat and an interview. And
See, I don't think that you say they don't need you. I don't think that's true.
Well,
they are toy. Like I understand that they can do. We're all used to Skype now, but given the way that the world is, but
Right.
they're toy creators, right? Like they're development guys. They are the engineers. They're not the interviewers. If they want someone to lead the interview, they need people like you that are going to lead them through it. I think there's always going to be a place, and this isn't me just kissing your ass just because you're here. This goes for any good interviewer. They need guys like you to drive their product. And I definitely think you're a necessity.
And like collecting with Chris was asking, is Pixel Dan going to get another quote on the back of the TMNT 2 Live?
Right. They love
That
you
would be cool, but I don't know.
I'm trying to remember. It was you. It was Cardona. And who was the third then?
Nick at Fwoosh.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I'm like, I remembered it being Fwoosh, but I didn't remember if it was Veebs or if it was Robo or whoever.
It was Veebs. It was from one of his written reviews, I think. It was
right on.
Yeah. And that was really cool because I remember he messaged me that day because he got the box first, and he messaged me and he's like, "We were quoted." I was like, "What?" I couldn't believe it. That was such a cool surprise.
So you earlier said that your definitive version of the Turtles was the original line, right? The original 4, the Playmates.
Yeah. We all do, Bean. We all
Ninja
do.
Turtles 2.
The Dan and Randy show.
Secret of the... Yes, I do absolutely miss that show. Secret of the Ooze. These turtles, not the figures, obviously, because I didn't have them, but the turtles that were represented in Secret of the Ooze, those are my definitive turtles. This movie was
the
my
movie stars.
So
movie star turtles?
Figures, this release right here, this is my definitive set of turtles. I cannot wait for this.
So cool, man. It's so cool. And just like all the accessories, like they got that accessory set coming with it, like that you can get too, which is such a must-have, I think, because of all the crazy stuff that they're cramming in there. I mean, come on,
I actually got. Oh, dang it! Where'd it go? I lost an image.
I mean, like you got the mop, the Donatello's bow staff mop, and you've got like Mikey's little Chico stick. I mean, like they took all these great things from these memorable scenes, and I love it. Like even that payphone, Donnie walking around with that payphone. Like how great is that?
Now I have to find the accessory kit image. For some odd reason, it's not popping.
I love that Donnie comes with a little foam bat. Mikey's got the combat cold cuts. I mean, it's amazing. I think it's so fun. So fun. Like this movie gets a lot of flack. Yeah, I get it. Like it's way cartoony. Like if the first movie is the Mirage comics brought to life, the second movie is definitely the original animated series brought to life, right? Like that's
definitely
that's the way you kind of look at them. And
there we go.
As much as I love the first movie and feel that it is a perfect Ninja Turtles movie, I adore the second movie. I mean, I watched it so much when I was a kid, and I love Toka and Razar. I mean, it's so good. So I'm so happy to see it get this representation.
Absolutely.
I always feel like Turtles 1 is a love letter to the comic, and Turtles 2 is a love letter to everything else. Because at the time, you didn't have the black and white turtles that kill Shredder.
Yeah.
You had Mike Blanchard running around going, "Whoa, tubular, dude!"
Yeah,
Cowabunga!
Yeah, pizza. Yeah.
It had evolved into something else, and I gotta ask, because you're such a big shellhead. Like, did you have to sit on this for a little while, or were they just like, "Hey, you're gonna do a reveal"?
I sat on it for about a week.
So, damn! You are a better man than I.
They messaged me about a week in advance, and they're like, "Hey, are you interested? And how do you want to do it?" So I wrote back and I said, "Yes, this is what I'd like to do." And then they were like, "Okay, sounds great." And then they were like, "We're gonna go ahead and send you the images. Just don't so that you'll have them just obviously under embargo." So I got to see everything about a week early. So it's awesome.
No, it was one of those things where I was watching the interview and I'm like, man, I would be losing my shit if I was just seeing these the first time. I'm like, he had to have gotten eyes on this before.
It's hard not to tell people sometimes when I get to when I'm really excited about something. It's like I gotta, you want to be professional. Something's under an embargo.
Oh yeah. I don't know how much you would care, but did you show your son?
Yes, I did show him. He thought it was awesome because he loves.
Did you show him early?
No, I don't think I showed him early.
Okay. Like I said, he's 8. I don't know if a new head sculpt and the new body he'd really care about, but
he was. You know what he likes the most out of these? He likes the baby Toka and Razar. He thinks those are so cool.
Same with my Connor.
Yeah, he was real happy about that.
I'm like, we can just go to Amazon and I'll get you a tortoise and we'll be done.
Same.
I'll ask if he could have, and he will not say, "Can I have the babies?" He said, "Can I have the babies?" He's like, he thinks that's their name, and it's like, It makes me smile.
Somebody said, did he tell his wife? I did show her the same night I got the pictures.
I'm sure she was thrilled.
She's just used to that by now. Anytime I'm excited, I'm like, babe.
Yeah.
But she's super supportive. So
Look. The computer with the active line was the thing that like just geeked me out. I was like, oh my god. That's such a stupid little piece, and now I want a ton of LEDs to make the stupid roller coaster thing that was behind them, so that I can make that a display.
I know. I zoomed in on the picture to see it when they sent it to me. I wanted to make sure to bring it up in that video because I was like, oh, it's got the one line that says active.
Yeah.
That's.
I also love
everything else is post.
I want to see this up close because it has the little like sub windows. And they're notorious for hiding stuff, and I'm like, what is in there?
That's gonna be full of Easter eggs for sure. That's cool.
Also, the wax on, wax off, a little two
wrap. The little two wrap.
That's so good. So good.
Dude, there's so much, and I will say they trolled the hell out of people with the tease of the Ninja Rap is Born piece of paper where people are like, we're gonna vanillize, we're getting this, we're getting that. I'm like, just hold your horses.
I was gonna say he's gotta be coming. Like I guarantee that dude would sign off his likeness. Now the price might be the issue, right?
That's what I was gonna say. I bet you that
he might be expensive, but I wouldn't be surprised.
You could just knock down the pompadour a little bit and call it like, chocolate ice or something, and just be like, here you go. Put it in a package with
chocolate. We can get right.
Chocolate snow cone.
It'd be beautiful. But we do know that we're getting Kino. I gotta wonder. I gotta ask though. I'm super curious if we're gonna get the professor.
You think so? That would be interesting.
Well,
it feels. He's the main character, right? Like in the movie, but he's obviously one of the more boring of the bunch. But I buy him.
Right, we'd have to buy him, right?
We'd have to at this point.
This is the level of Secret of the Ooze dork I am. There's a dude on Etsy making little tiny Bart Simpson don't have a cow man with the retro mutagen in it, and it was like $10. And I finally was just like, I got paid out for a book, and I'm like, done. I'm like, what am I doing?
We haven't heard anything on Turco either, right?
No, I think they've heavily implied that it's a possibility, but I don't think anything concrete.
We need like some oversized dandelion accessories, and
we're getting one.
Dan, I was gonna say, last time, no, 2 times ago, Dan and I were talking about this, like that stupid Secret of the Ooze pre-mutated Shredder. That dandelion is the reason I'm buying that figure.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that one. Yeah. When does that one come out? That's because he's got like the purple outfit and everything.
Yeah, and he's got the saw blade or the sawtooth helmet.
Yeah. Oh man, that's freaking cool.
Oh, what up, May?
I'm pretty excited about right now.
By the way, Mr. Pixel Dan, if you haven't, go check out Made 1979 Customs. You will be a happy camper looking at his work. He does these dioramas they'll trip your nerd button. I'll just put it that way. I got one I'll show you later, but
they're so good.
Dude does insane work.
Sweet, rad.
Kino with the motor scooter. Hell yeah.
Oh, he's on. I see the Instagram links. Sweet.
There we go. My utmost favorite Shredder helmet. All right, moving on from the ever awesome reveal from Pixel Dan. We have Mop Donnie. I know this is still in the same reveal, but I love this image.
The amount of research, the amount of work that we put into when they posted that teaser picture with the
for the stupid
with the skirt. The skirt was in the corner of the Ninja Rap is Born picture. We spent a day and a half in a turtle chat that Dave and I have, just trying to figure out where that material's from.
We got Narc in there. We got the MWO. We got a bunch of folks in there, and like legit, all of us were like combing through the video, like, mother trucker, where is this?
Where is this in the movie? And I don't think we figured it out, right?
No, because you don't really see like a really clear shot of Donnie because he's always moving around, or he's covered up to here. So it's just like, oh, we're just friggin' stumped. Michael Palmer, I love this night. And he makes Dave's wallet cry. Yes. My wallet hurts so badly right now, but god dang, what a great time to be a Turtle fan. All right.
So much.
Moving on, Playmates. coming out the gate with I would say the first new mold since the 2012 series. Oh no, sorry, Rise. Rise was the last like kind of new fresh mold, I guess.
Yes.
But well, I don't know. That Shredder in the Classics 2-pack and the Triceraton, but I think those were already like in development back when that line came out.
Those are so weird. I keep waiting to see those in person. Like, I'm mildly interested in the Triceraton.
I got to see a Triceraton in person once, and it is weird. I don't know
they're
how
so weird. I don't know why they're doing. I mean, like I know why they're doing it, but it's still weird. Still weird.
Well, how old are those molds? Those molds are 2010,
2012. Dude, they announced. Well, when did their classic collection come out? That had to have been around 2012, right? 2013 maybe. So it's crazy. Like they keep reusing those molds. Those are 10-year-old figures that they just keep putting into production. It is the weirdest thing.
And they put out better turtles since then. That's the frustrating thing.
Oh, it's so strange. I wish that they would. Here's my wish for Playmates, because the vintage line rocked, man. It was so good. And they keep giving us reissues of the same turtles over and over again, right?
Oh my god!
Like I don't understand
those boxes.
Yeah, yes. I don't understand why they don't do more new figures in the vintage style. Like that just seems like such a no-brainer for them to capitalize. Origin. Yes, like, to capitalize on something that's not already being done by anybody else for Turtles.
Yeah,
they released that box set of the Mirage figures.
Yeah.
And within that box set, they did a repaint of Vintage Shredder and Vintage Splinter in the Mirage colors. But then they gave us those 4 not great reissues from like 2013.
Yeah.
Instead of repainting the vintage Turtles in comic style, which we've never had before.
That would have been amazing, right?
That would have taken that to a next level. Like that would have been a must-have for everybody. Yeah. And it's baffling to me that they like don't understand.
That's where they walked away from it, you know.
Like there's so much money I feel like they're leaving on the table because they're like putting this stuff out there that like they're trying to bill as collector toys, but all the collectors are looking at that and going, why would I want that when I've got Neca or Super 7? You know what I mean?
I look at this and my first thought when I saw this was, oh man, this custom is getting a lot of like love online. Because it's a really nice looking figure, but it's this wash that they did over it.
I know, that's overkill.
It's overkill, but it also looks like something I did when I was in like middle school. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it looks like my attempt to do a custom wash.
It's just not. It's not even. You know. It's so weird.
To give a little bit of credit to this, and this is kind of where my stance has been with this particular figure, I think because this is also smaller in scale. I think they said it was like a 5.5 inch.
Yeah, it's 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's almost vintage figure style. So they've definitely got like looks like he's got double jointed elbows and probably knees. So they've added articulation to him, but he almost could pass as a vintage style Last Ronin. And if you look at it from that aspect, I think there is some appeal to him.
I like I said, I love that I love seeing Playmates do something new.
Yes,
like,
it's nice to see him. Yeah.
But they're kind of doing again like the Motu Origins almost feel of, hey, here's something classic though too, you know, like it's almost like adding in those characters you didn't know you wanted in the vintage line.
Yeah,
so does this figure go with anything?
No, not yet.
It's just kind of its own thing. So that's what's so weird about it.
Yeah.
Like they just
it came out of nowhere.
It did. And that's why I think like if they would have went full vintage style with this, and they're like, "Hey guys, here's our Last Ronin figure, and he fits right in with your vintage Turtles."
Right.
Like how much cooler would that have been, right? Like that.
God, now I'm blanking on their names. The original studio that did so many of the original Turtles, I would have loved. Yeah, Varner. If they would have done the sculpt, like, could you imagine how sick that would have been?
Yeah, and they've been doing a lot of stuff for Playmates again too, because they did all the new Star Trek stuff that's coming out and everything.
But you know what I mean, like knocking it out in more of that classic style. Because again,
classic style.
It feels like it has notes of that, but that head is the friggin' Turtles classic turtle head. But you know, it looks like it's that same type of sculpt.
So weird.
It's interesting. Oh yeah, there's a black and white version too.
I was gonna say, then they have the Chase, which this is the one that I actually popped for.
Yeah, I like that.
Because I'm a comic artist. For me, like my buddy Ben Bishop is working on this book. So this this totally nerded me out. Like, you know, I was just like, oh, it's line art. You know, this is awesome. But you also get to see the dynamics of this sculpt a lot clearer without the wash.
I know. Doesn't that look cooler without that weird dark wash on there? Like, look at the face on that. That's a really good.
I was gonna say I like this version as a one-off. But way more than the other one. This is this is a piece of art versus. So I mean, not that the other one isn't, but I like this one so much better.
Is this? So you said this is a chase? Like it's not like just a version you can order?
Yep, it's apparent that they haven't revealed an official quantity or anything. So it's gonna be a pisser to get, I imagine. It's a beautiful figure though.
I pre-ordered the one. I pre-ordered it just because I'm curious. You know, I'm always curious about these things. I want to check it out. So
I did too. Like as much as I bitched about it, I'm like,
I know that's weird. Like, that's what we do, right?
But again, like, you know, you look at this and it's that weird wash. Like okay, so I don't have it on my table. Never mind. I was gonna say I have this wash that I use a lot in customs and whatnot when I'm doing zombies and stuff, and it looks like that was just so heavily applied on this, where it just kind of it stains it a little bit more. Me too, Emilio. Like I said, a brand new Playmates figure is neat. Like to see this and the idea of what it could be, or what it could lead to. Because them putting this out there, I'm like, this means IDW's on the table,
right? And I'm totally open to that. If this opens the door to other stuff, if this is saying that there's other stuff coming, I'm do whatever you want. Then sure, make a new thing. That's fine. But if this is just, and then there was this,
and then
8 minutes later, this
Neca has no chill. Because they were just like, and they didn't even announce it. They just changed their profile picture on Twitter to this.
Oh, that's right.
As soon as that Playmates one got revealed, it's like, whoa, okay, guys.
It was like legit. This hit, and I'm just like, oh, well, all right, Neca, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, all right.
Do you think anybody at Playmates was just like, mother trucker?
Everybody at Playmates was.
Yes, absolutely, they were. Absolutely, they were.
But I just realized I didn't grab a picture of a topless Ronin, but again, a fantastic looking figure. The details and whatnot on it. I grabbed my slide deck from Monday, this was the only image that was out on Monday. So
that's okay.
I realized, I'm like, damn it. But yeah, Neca went for the throat a little bit.
They really did.
Hold my beer.
I couldn't believe it. Like I had just got done. Like I was like, oh, I'm gonna order this, and I put in my pre-order over on Big Bad, I think. And then I popped over to Twitter, and then there I see Neca's profile picture, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, not even like long enough for me to place that order. They had already changed their.
It was.
So what do we think was Neca's original plan with this?
I think he was gonna roll out with everything else.
Just come out sometime in the later in the week.
Maybe it was going to be part of all, because that happened before all of our videos got posted, right? So
that's what he is.
I wonder if they were gonna. I wonder if it was just going to be part of their Toy Fair reveals,
right? Yeah.
And then they were just like, Playmates just revealed theirs. Let's reveal ours.
Here we go.
Yeah.
But never mind. I did get one top with Ronin.
Oh, there he is.
Then you have sexy Ronin, who's coming for your broken sword accessory.
So I have to say that I have not read this yet, and I know people are asking me all the time if I've read it, and I have not. So I need to get on that, especially now that there's toys coming out.
the cool thing, because it hasn't wrapped up yet. Like there's still one more issue, and I will say the delays in between has drawn it out so much that I'm like, I just want the trade. I have the floppies, but
I wonder how long until the trade will come out, because that's probably what I'll just do. I'll probably just grab a trade.
I want to say it's supposed to be August.
Okay.
I think.
Well, nobody talked to me about this until August. Can we do that?
I'm sure that'll be easy. Yeah.
We'll have you
is that a reality? Is that something we can really do?
Moving on, quarter scale Toon Turtle. Again, sized up disguised turtles. Absolutely love them. Yeah, if I had more space, I would have bought these in a heartbeat.
Me too. I have all
trade in June.
I have all the trade in June.
Okay, cool.
There you go.
Okay, I need to just go order that.
There you go.
I have all the quarter scale movie stuff. And it's because at the time, like, we didn't think that we were getting those.
There was nothing else. Yeah.
7-inch scales. So like I ordered them all and I loved them. I was blown away by them. Now that I've got everything in like an actual action figure size, those things are so big that I'm like, I don't know where to display them. The problem is they're so good, I can't get rid of them. Like I've tried, there's been a few times where I'm like, I think I'm going to sell these. And then I can never pull the trigger on it because they're so gorgeous.
I did the 4 turtles and I was like, I have to tap out because if they do, you know, I knew they were doing Shredder and the foot soldier. I'm like, oh my God, if they do Splinter, if they do, you know, like, oh my God. I was very grateful that they didn't. Because I felt less like I was missing out.
So I haven't unboxed it yet, but I do have the Donatello quarter scale, the cartoon version.
Yeah.
I honestly had a bunch of trade credit at Disc Replay for my video game stuff, and they had it sitting there, just a one that was in the box, but I think open.
Just taunting.
It was a good price. So I said, okay, it's trade credit. It's basically free.
Yeah.
So I picked it up, and now it's like, can I just like if you want all 4 turtles? Each one is $125. That's a $500 set for 4 turtles, and the amount of space that they take up. But I've got this Donatello already, so I don't know what to do.
I stand by with these, like, and same thing with the movie ones. For me, I don't treat them like action figures. I mean, I pose them and such, but I treat them like they're like statues, like on display. Because like I have them in, so we have like the family room down here where we watch movies and stuff like that, and I have them in my cabinet lit. You know, like, and for me, it's just like, I wouldn't do that with most action figures because I like playing with them. I like posing them around. But for those, I'm like, I can leave them in these poses and I can walk away and go, God dang, that's nice looking.
I've got a big display for my cartoon NECA stuff, like the 6-inch guys. I'm considering
that's fair
because they're making so many of those figures, right? Like they just it seems like every month they drop another 6 that are coming out, and then that's my line. But those original turtles, the 6-inch versions of the turtles go for so much right now. I feel like I could just get rid of the turtles 6-inch, have their only representation be the quarter scale, and then just have the action scene on the diorama. Just have everybody else laid out on the diorama. That's work in progress idea is where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'll show some pictures later. That was my big thing with the 2012 turtles is the first wave that came out where it was just they weren't really based on the cartoon. They were just kind of like, this is a rough approximation of what we think it'll be. I kind of use those as my IDW turtles actually, but
they're really good. Like that's the thing. And you know those were sculpted by the same guy that sculpted the original figures for the original line. So that's why like they're kind of like they're
well and that Mikey is like my favorite Mikey.
It's
like
good.
I absolutely love that figure.
Yeah.
And like I'll show you later. The 2012 stuff, I have just a big old fight scene, but I have the Revoltech turtles in there because I'm like, well, it's the 2012 series. Like that was the most accurate one.
Those were the most accurate ones we got to that show. Yeah. I've had a lot of people asking me lately if I think that Neca would start doing stuff from 2012, and I don't know if they would, but it really it's crazy to think about the fact that it's been 10 years since that show started.
Yeah.
That people are starting to get nostalgic for it already.
You're right.
They're wanting to see stuff. Yeah.
We got a lot of love in the chat for the 03 series, and actually Emilio, who I've highlighted a couple comments from, worked on that series. Was one of the artists on there, so he's popped on a couple times too. And like there's all this love, but there's no merch.
That one is criminally underrated as far as merchandising goes. Absolutely. I have a big collection of those still. Yeah, there you go. I have a big collection of all my 03 stuff. I love those figures.
It was an amazing series. The figures were great. All those Jeff Matsuda designs along with the art team was absolutely stunning. What up, Stinkfist? Neca next mutation.
Yeah,
we'll get there. Don't worry.
I mean, look, they did the coming out of their shells tour. I mean, come on, why?
I can tell you exactly where I was when that set was announced because I remember my friend said, "Hey, they're gonna unveil what the San Diego exclusive is this year," and I go, "Man." You know, I at that point I was like, I don't know if I can keep going with the line because it was so expensive. I'm like, the one thing that would make me streak my drawers is if it was the coming out of their shells tour, but they're never gonna do that. And my buddy calls me. I was dropping off stuff at Goodwill, comes over my speakers, and he goes, "Dave, get some handy wipes." And I go, what? Why? He's like, check your phone. And I'm sitting there parked waiting in line, and I literally screamed in my car.
I couldn't believe that they did it, man.
I was freaking out. But the whole 3 TMNT was legit a more than worthy successor to the first cartoon. Hell yeah.
For sure. It was great.
See, Emilio, 03 always gets skipped. But you're number 1 in our hearts, Emilio.
Love you, Emilio.
Moving on. We got the 2 packs that are up for pre-order right now over at the Neca store. We got Smash and Zack, and then we have the Crooked Turtle Gang and a Rock Soldier. Thoughts on these gents? I guess I could say Dave.
Controversial statement. I haven't, and I will not be pre-ordering these.
Because of Zach, right? It's definitely.
No, I love these. I'll be getting these sets. I will absolutely be getting these sets. My Target right now is fully stocked with the last there's a good representation.
You will haunt
of
your
that.
dreams.
So my Target has everything from frogs to wingnut to dirtbag to the new. There's 2 of the new sets.
I went to my Target today. They had a whole bunch of those new sets.
They've got everything.
They were just all sitting there.
I can't justify paying Neca an extra $15 on top of the additional pricing when they went from $50 to $55, plus an additional $15 for shipping on each of these.
Yeah.
I'd much rather just risk it and hopefully find it in Target. If I don't find it in Target, then I can pay the $80 or whatever it is on eBay. But I mean, at this point, yes, in the beginning of this line, it was a nightmare to find these things in stores. Now I think it's a very much overabundant, especially with these characters. I don't see Zack flying off the shelf.
Right. I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree. I think a lot of credit really should be given to the guys over at Neca for acknowledging and fixing a lot of the issues with getting, because the distribution was terrible in the beginning, and a lot of people were really angry in the beginning. I heard about it a lot. Trust me, it was somehow it was my fault, and it was hard because I wasn't seeing this stuff at stores either. And like I said earlier, I was relying on a lot of people helping me find these things. But the fact that they just dropped all these Toy Fair reveals, and I was easily able to order everything somewhere. Sure. Yeah, all of it. I could order all of it somewhere. And that was amazing. Plus, it's all still going to come to Target or Walmart or wherever. And we've seen these things becoming much easier to come by in the stores now on top of it. So, I love that. I'm so happy that it's
Nightwing in the chat was saying that we never saw Cartoon Casey in Minnesota at all. No one ever found him.
Ever. Wow.
Same thing with the Secret of the Ooze stuff. Or whatever, the coming out of their shells.
Coming out of their shell stuff. Yeah,
we found the T-shirts. That was all that was ever found up here.
Yeah. Same here. We had the T-shirts in our store, and that's it.
That was wild. I laughed because I showed these to my son, and he knows who Zack is because he absolutely loves Zack, and he went, "Dad, could you repaint the hair brown so I could be Zack?"
That's pretty awesome.
That would be cool. I don't know if I can warrant another $50.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? You flip the other guy. Now, this is also the first time that I didn't really look at these pictures too hard. The first time I saw him, the extra Chrome Dome head.
Yep. So Zack basically hacks Chrome Dome, and so he has his sweet VR glasses.
I remember that,
and his hacking hardware here. But this I think is it this part that something plugs into Chrome Dome?
It plugs into him. Yeah. And I think Nick at Foosh said something about him having like a flip down. Was it like a screen or a keyboard or a panel or something that will flip down on it? So you can actually plug this onto your Chrome Dome figure so that you can make it so that Zack's hacking him.
Yeah, because it's missing this front part of the dome.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I love when they do that, when they add on to old figures and let you expand on them with newer figures.
I am always blown away by how deep they get with the accessories and the references with these, because I almost always have to look it up because I don't remember all these little details that they're putting into this. It's amazing.
I stand by the dorkiest, most fantastically nerdtacular thing I've ever seen in a toy line was Scare Glow from Motu Classics with the key, because that was early in the line, and it worked on Castle Grayskull.
Yeah, they put the little keyhole in the side for that little secret panel. Yeah, it's amazing.
And that was how many years later?
I know, it's crazy.
I do love that they have Army Builder Pack. I think this is awesome.
How many did you buy?
I only bought one. I figured I got one because I'm like, all right, I have one soldier, and then if I can find them in the store, that's when I'll probably buy another one here or there. But
I bought 3.
Wow.
and you know what's dumb is like I don't even want that many rock soldiers. I just wanted a bunch of crooked Ninja Turtle games.
that's where I'm at.
So like that's what that.
Because my thought of it is, okay, you have Trag, you have Granitor.
Yeah.
So Granitor is already kind of the second in command. Then you just kind of need one foot soldier, you know, or rock soldier in this instance.
But still, the fact that Neca went and did this 2-pack as a strictly army building 2-pack and didn't give us the goon plus a Irma or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or Zach.
Yeah, exactly. Then the market is just filled with loose Zacks all over eBay and nobody wants them. The fact that they're both army builders, I love that Neca did that. It's a small thing, but it's a very cool thing.
Well, and again, the thing that got me is it was a really smart business move, because if they would have done a 2-pack of the Crooked Turtle Gang and a 2-pack of the Rock Soldier,
they could have done that.
You'd see one or the other just sitting,
you're right.
You know.
You're right. Yeah.
This forces the hand.
I mean, they did it the smart way. I mean, it's cool because it gives us the option army build, but it also makes sure that they can sell both.
It's I feel like it's win-win for both the company and the fans.
Absolutely.
I think this is very cool.
Oh hell yeah! I'm unbelievably stoked for. All the freaking reveals. I was sitting there going, oh, no, no. Which you'll see in the next one. I literally did screen grabs from Nick's interview because I wanted to give him credit. The Foosh had a very fantastic interview going, and they did all these reveals on there. So much love to the Foosh.
Heck yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, for those who you know in the COJ, I literally. When I started out doing stuff, I got Robo into doing the live stream stuff and got to kind of experience a slight piece of the madness there, and I'm like, whoo, all right, cool. I'm so glad I'm an unknown. But starting off hot, Stan Sakai's baby right there. We got Fabio Jimbo.
This is great.
Coming in as a deluxe. Like this is gonna be a separate pack. You know, like this is gonna be a VHS case pack of just Usagi. He's got multiple ear sets so that he can wear the hat. He's got a robe along with a bunch of other accessories. Very
Is he our first 6-inch figure, like legitimate 6-inch, like a shorter figure that's coming in those big VHS packs?
I think so.
I'm not talking movie line. I'm just talking cartoon.
But they're packing out this figure apparently.
He's probably gonna have a ton of accessories to really fill out the pack. Yeah.
Do we know if it's coming with that portal?
I don't think it is. Okay. I wish it did, but I think maybe it would be like one of those cardboard backdrops, but I doubt that it's.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
The full 3-dimensional sculpt, but man, that would be really. Hey, it's the pizza dagger. I
love it.
That friggin' accessory is so nostalgia cool. To the max for the vintage line.
Absolutely.
I had so many of those things sitting around going, who uses these? Why does every single person come with these and Raph is the only one with a pocket for it?
Yeah. All of those weird accessories they came with. Who used any of those?
Yeah. And yet I've seen baggies of the ninja stars go for like $75 at shows, and I'm just like,
oh yes. Well,
so many of those got eaten by the vacuum.
I know.
Bring on the accessories. Mondo was 6-inch, that's true, but he did come with Kerma.
Yeah, that's my point. The Muckman was huge.
I have a feeling. I mean, Usagi's gonna. I mean, to the top of his ears is gonna be as tall as one of the turtles. I'd imagine. I mean, looking at these
sure, if not a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah, and coming along with that little tease in their diorama. Very interested to see what comes of this. I'm one of those dudes that doesn't really care about like the third party stuff, like whether it's good or bad, but like if it's cool, I'm all in. So there's that Underground Arsenal turtle van that's coming off that's based on the animated artwork, and I love Super 7. I love Neca. I couldn't drop the coin on the Super 7. NECA's God only knows what it would cost. So I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
all right.
I think
So
I think NECA's, if they do it, will be cheaper. The Super 7
really?
one was rough. I mean, like, looked really cool, but I am 100% with everybody that says it was very expensive.
But
It
I gotta imagine NECA's will be close to $3 though,
I don't know.
if they do it. Just because that's a big chunk of plastic.
It is
and a
big. Yeah, it's big.
That's my thing. Is it's the footprint of it.
How much was the diorama? Was the diorama 150 or 250?
It was 150,
I
right?
think it was 150, right?
Yeah, 150.
But that's also a
thin.
lot of hollow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And they can break it. I mean, unless they give us a turtle van kit that we have to build.
Yeah, right. That you build it together. That, I mean, they could be.
Could
I
be.
mean, with the cartoon, I mean, you could kind of get away with that because of all the seams. But as long as they give us the springboard platform that, for some odd reason, launches the turtles out the top, like a turtle do.
Will they repaint it blue and give us a news van too?
Oh my God! Don't speak again. I may in fact be working on a custom news van from a not combat. I always say combat Carl, Cowabunga Carl van that I got. That was a little bit of a beater. Oh.
While we're on this image, Dan, in your interview with NECA, they strongly tease that another big set is coming. That sewer for the cartoon set is coming. I know we don't have any information on this thing, but I guess my question to you guys is, do you think whether it's the sewer or something else, do we ever get one of these big playset like things for the movie set?
Ooh.
The movie set.
The movie
I don't
one would
know.
be way trickier just because of the intricacies of it.
Sure,
It'd be-
it'd have to be a lot more detailed.
A lot more detailed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Whereas
I don't know.
the cartoon one was very sparse because then they could animate around it.
I mean, I guess I wonder if they make one, they could always make the other by reusing, right? And
Yeah.
just
That was my thought.
kind of like they did with the street scene
sewer.
diorama.
street
Like
scene.
the street scene diorama started out as movie based, and then
That's
they
true.
did the animated, and then they did like a generic.
The
one. So it came out 3 times.
I
So
shit you not, I have all 3 of them within eyesight.
really,
Of course
I
it-
had the movie one and the animated one, and I opted to sell off the movie one, and I kept the animated one. So they're just big. They take up a lot of space, and I love them, but I couldn't find space for both.
I'll show you later. That's how I set up my display. Like
That's
based
great.
around
No,
those.
that's
It's
awesome.
like,
That's awesome.
If you got the room for it, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't though. Moving on.
Yeah.
We move into the Mirage lines coming back, and again,
Look at that Fugitoid.
and again, like there were so many people that were, oh my God, we're getting the turtles, and I'm like, no, this is about Fugitoid. But you gotta believe that we'll get another release. I in my heart of hearts, I have a feeling they'll go back and do them, but I know there have been rumors that they might not have the original tooling, but at the same time, they keep producing those knockoffs overseas, so someone does. And the knockoffs are actually really, really nice. I gotta say.
That's crazy, right? And then it's crazy that you still find them. Like I still see those at toy shows every now and then.
Yeah.
The knockoff ones, yeah.
Sorry, got excited. But yeah, I mean, I gotta believe we'll get the turtles back through again. But as minimally as it is, I am a Fugitoid completist.
Oh, nice.
So like
Nice.
I have every iteration so far. I have the exclusive from Eastman's
I
site.
was gonna say you got that because Peter Laird sold those first,
Yep.
and then Eastman got them like the leftovers, I guess, and started selling them. Because I bought it back when Laird was selling them, because mine's signed by Peter Laird.
I was gonna say, here's my psycho brain. I have one of each signed.
nice.
One piece
Oh,
of
that's
it,
great.
I like
one
that.
Laird. And the Laird one I was able to trade for like about 2 months ago, and so
Oh,
I
even
was
better.
super stoked because I was like, oh, yes.
He must have had tons of those manufactured, because those things were just readily available on his website for
Yep,
like
for
5 years. It was
Yeah.
crazy. Like you
Think,
could just go
think
there
of
and
the
buy 'em.
minimums though that they would have had to do on the factory run, because they were also back metal.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, geez Louise,
They're
really, really
non-articulated. They're like little statues, basically.
Oh, Joe Hanger, Dave is gonna get mad if we hijack the thread for hackers and Johnny Mnemonic quotes. Don't worry, Joe. We'll have another stream for that. Hack the planet. I got a funny story about that later. It's a whole nother stream. Anyways, moving on from these absolute beautiful figures, we take that hard right down Nostalgia Road to Archie.
Man, look at that Slash.
Oh.
Now now with this, we've got like every version of Slash, and they're all beautiful.
And
they're all amazing.
And I like this. Okay, the vintage toy I have a love for, but Archie comics is what got me into Turtle comics.
Yeah.
So Dan and I were talking about this before you hopped on, Pixel Dan. But like I remember picking those up at the gas station on road trips, and the Mighty Mutanimals, and you know, like all of, you know, getting into, like, I swear to God, if we get a Ninjara, like I will be marking out like crazy. But to see them show the same love for Archie that they're showing for the classic cartoon and Mirage, and you know, to show the attention to detail, you know,
spreading it out is and now I mean my name Dan is attached to a show called Turtle Talk. I should be an expert on all this stuff. I have no connection. I have no knowledge on the Archie stuff at all. We're going to get into the in the upcoming picks as well. When I saw this Slash, I think this was the first one I saw. I fell in love with this, and I just
it's gorgeous.
I almost messaged you immediately and was like, "Hey, where do I get one of these books? Like, how do I start learning more about?"
I mean, this like this looks like Slash though, right? Like this looks like the Slash that everybody has in their brain.
Sure.
And that's because like the vintage toy is what most people think about with Slash. Like I remember when Neca first came out with their first one based on the cartoon, how confused everybody was because they didn't remember that he looked so different. Yeah, in the original cartoon. This is what everybody was thinking about with Slash, and there he is. So I think that's cool. You know, and then Super 7's doing the original toy style one too. So it's like we've got all these great
everything.
Mike throwing out there my dream. We need a cuddly 4-pack with the wrestler turtles.
The 4 wrestlers, yeah.
Like let it be the collector's case.
We got to be getting a repaint of Armagon as the Archie version, right? Like I mean, there's no way that they made that just for that Super Nintendo based version.
That's a good call.
There's no way. I mean, we there's no way that they won't. That's money on the table.
Yeah.
You know, the black detail and the shade of the green really makes that Slash pop. Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, I have this image of this Slash in my head, and like I can see the zip tone of the, like, on the newsprint. Like it's so ingrained in my head. Like it's so seeing this, I freaked out. And moving on, we're also these are a little out of order. We have the Mirage Utrom base. So you get the android that's just beaten to crap with the meatloaf of a supervillain that is an Utrom. Just absolutely stunning. Again, their attention to detail with these paint applications and whatnot,
so cool.
It's so dang cool.
Look at this friggin' Ray Fillet. Oh my god, sexy Ray Fillet.
Yeah, look at him. I'm sorry, audience, you're pregnant. Like you're all pregnant. Male, female, anything in between, doesn't matter. Guess what? You're having his baby. That's very true, Ab. The best part about those Archie figures, they're not exclusives. This, oh my god, the Mutanimals, Mighty Mutanimals. We're getting like half the team
right off the bat,
out the gate.
Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
You know they're going to complete it. You know they're going to finish it. So, man.
Stupid sexy man, right?
Stupid sexy man.
If Dwayne Johnson was a mutated stingray. Oh my god. But yeah, like another fantastic example of them tapping into a market that they probably thought was a little untapped but didn't know where they were going. The reaction to these that I have seen has been insane.
Yeah.
And Mr. Ryan Clark, I believe they are going with the Man Ray title, because that's who he was in the comic. Yeah, I think Ray Fillet was really only called Ray Fillet in the toy, right?
I'm not sure, but that's probably true. And we're getting him from Super 7 too, so we've got like 2 of him coming out. That's crazy.
It doesn't matter. You get both flavors.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like they're both great for their own reasons. It's like, How can you not buy
all
both?
you Mutagen Man fans, hold on to your butts. Ray Fillet fans, guess what? Buckle up, Buttercup.
Your turn. He
we're
just
going
got a
all the
reaction
way.
too. Yeah, he just got a reaction too.
But yeah, just oh my god. And Dan, before the stream started, we were talking about the Mighty Mutanimals, and he asked about Worm, and I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't ever read the Worm comics with your kid, because those Archie Worm comics are terrifying. He eats people.
I've never read those actually.
Yeah,
awesome.
he's straight up like the mutant monster that eats people. Like in the series. It's messed up.
If anybody has is there a trade of Mighty Mutanimals?
So it's all collected in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Adventures collections from IDW. I believe all of them are still available too.
Okay.
There's 16 volumes. 16?
Wow.
16 volumes. I have them on my shelf. They're fantastic. And the cool thing is they printed them to look like they're printed on newsprint. So you actually get a very authentic experience with them.
Oh yeah, there's a ton of. They're all on Amazon. It looks like.
Yeah. Moving on, we got Jaguar and Dreadmon, looking like they fell straight out of the comic page. I'm so curious to see if we get maybe a swappable head for Jaguar, because this is such a goofy expression for him. But I'm again just super stoked. We're getting the Mutanimals.
And we don't know anything about these as far as how they're packaged, if it's a single pack or a double pack.
I think they said it was going to be a 2-pack.
Oh, they did. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think Slash is the only one that was confirmed to be a single. But
are you and Man Ray, Rayman, whichever one it is?
Man Ray,
that's a 2-pack just because of the little guy.
I think so. I think he would be packed as a deluxe. I don't know if they officially have said that. I got to go back and listen to the interview again.
Okay.
They have posable eyes or something. I don't know. He would be Mr. Geeky, you lovely weirdo. Yeah, Bean, they're stunning. But again, like the attention to detail and everything, the color schemes that they gave them, like they look like they jumped off the
Like
page.
I said, I have less than zero attachment to Archie comics and the turtle representations in that comic.
Oh yes, Mr.
I love these figures.
Yeah, they're just cool.
They just look cool, right?
Yeah, right.
They're just cool looking toys. Yeah.
To me, these like Glenn Keane is fine and dandy like nuts and candy. The Disney animation is great. Give me some Archie comics and I'm happy as a pig, and you know what. That was possibly the most Midwestern sentence I've ever said in my life. But, yeah, I just, yeah, these are stunning. And again, the fact that they're showing IDW, they're showing Mirage. Here's a couple more going back to that possible playset in the general, but also the Portal. I would absolutely love to see those put out somehow. Just
I mean,
because
they got
cartoon accessory pack.
Got to
Right?
be showing it to us for a reason. They've got to be showing it to us for a reason.
Oh, they have some sort of eyebrow posability, says Amelia.
Oh, cool,
interesting.
cool.
Oh, let me sneak past you. Says another Chicago. But yeah, just very, very, very excited. Also, something that I noticed on this that didn't get brought up, there's a baby turtle.
With a mask on, right?
Yep. Which is very reminiscent of those old mutagen canisters.
Yeah, the
So
ones
on
that
the
came with
Dark
old
Turtle?
Playmate stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
It was one of those little things that I saw when this went up, and I was like, are they no like, are they gonna give us, you know, the like accessory pack, or are they gonna pack that in somehow with someone? But yeah, speak of Geeky, or Mr. Geeky, cuddly as a carrying case, easy San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, hell yeah. Oh, and yes, Usagi Palpatine. But that is the robe they were talking about in the interview. And actually, I'll toss this out there to both Dans. What has been your favorite random accessory that they've put out with these? Because, like you were saying, some of them are deep dives.
Oh, I know.
But-
I don't mind. It may not be an accessory, but I feel like it is. With Krang, the android body, Baby Shredder.
Oh yeah,
I love Baby Shredder.
hell yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That is really cool.
What about you, Pixel Dan?
Gosh, I don't know. I mean,
There's a lot
He's
to
not-
choose from.
there's so much to choose from, and like I said, like some of those go so deep that like I don't even. I kind of. I mean, I gotta have love for Joe Eyeball, and that comes with Muckman. Like, I know he's got to come with Muckman, but I mean, come on, he's so freaking cool.
Slash's tree is another good one.
Oh yeah, the Binky.
Yeah.
Panda 10 in the chat. The human masks in the disguise pack. Oh
yeah, good call. What about you?
My dreams. My favorite accessory is kind of I don't want to say it's obscure, but it's small, and it's the donuts from the Toka and Razar pack.
Oh, good call.
Pre-fight donuts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
because
a good
you
one.
get the crushed one too that you
With
see the ice cube.
Yeah, that's good. That's
the
good.
pre-fight donuts. It's like, oh yes. I'm like, any fight that I'm ever in, I want to bring a pack of donuts to, just to be like, hey guys.
Any fight that I'm ever in.
Let's make peace. This is why I couldn't work in the ring. I would be the guy who brings the donuts. Everybody would slip their holds. Just botch fest. One of the teases, Mirage Casey. I know a lot of people were super psyched, thinking that it might be a re-release of the Toon Casey. But that is 110% the Mirage.
No, I'm not a Mirage guy. How do you know?
It's the specific make of the eyes.
Okay.
And again with the bag and such, this if you look at Toon Casey, he has more of like it's a really camel brown, like that very I don't know how to describe it. It's that very pastel brown.
Okay.
Like, and it has a very thick strap and everything. This is very much indicative of that.
On the cartoon one,
Guy Wheeler now entering.
Did he come with an extra mask? We couldn't take his mask off, right?
The cartoon one?
Yeah.
No,
I haven't unboxed anything.
Yeah.
He never. I don't think he ever. He
didn't
he
take
never
his
did it in
mask.
the cartoon. Yeah, that makes sense.
No,
okay,
he sounds like Clint Eastwood, and
yeah,
when
he's
he's working in
dirty
the
Harry.
office.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if Loot Crate gives us like office casual.
Oh my God, that's
like, come, don't let me down now. Like, now one that was a general reveal. Again, I'm a Mikey guy. I was waiting for this reveal, and I'm super stoked. The monster turtles are and always have been one of my favorite versions of the turtles.
Yeah,
and they're killing it. Like, I have Raph sitting on my shelf, and it is a gigantic, beautiful chunk of plastic. Your thoughts on Mikey the Mummy with this lovely?
I was gonna say that's what's so cool about it. Talk about an awesome Easter egg.
That is a call.
The fact that they referenced this very well-known photo of the decaying mask from the movies, like that's brilliant.
Right?
I think that is so cool. Yeah.
I realized that I loved it so much I didn't even grab another picture of Mummy Mikey.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
Well, because he's got another head too that doesn't have a mouth like that.
Yeah,
so he's got two.
Yeah, it looks much more akin to the.
What if the other mouth was the other iconic image from the first movie, where it's the open mouth Donatello?
Yep.
Oh man.
The Ankh Chucks. The hieroglyphic shell, all of it, just absolutely stunning.
Cool. These are really fun. Like,
just gonna leave it on that.
I think it's so cool. Obviously, the concept is so perfect for Neca, since they're also well known for doing monster toys, and they've got the Universal license. And then doing the mashup like this just feels so classic TMNT. It's beautiful to see something done like this. And I love that they're
right here.
Yeah, I love that they're doing their own thing with it. So it's kind of like they're making it their own. You know, they're getting creative, and they're doing something new, and I think it's awesome.
Oh, who's Donnie's going to be? I think Donnie's got to be Professor Professor Frankenstein. You got April, who is apparently a oh God, why can't I think of her name now? April. Oh God, why can't I think of her name? April from the movies. They're using Judith Hogue. They're using her likeness for the Bride of Frankenstein.
Really?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's been floating around, and I'm like, that's really neat.
That is neat. That is neat.
But yeah, so we got this. I'm guessing Dr. Frankenstein is Donnie, and then maybe
that makes sense.
Shredder as like the Wolfman. I don't know.
I would. I didn't even consider Shredder or any villains. That'd be great.
Yeah, that's cool.
Shredder as Van Helsing. That would be really cool.
Van Helsing. That'd be great.
Just Shredder in a trench coat. Oh, never mind. There we go.
There you
I did
go.
take one more.
This is
Yeah.
definitely my favorite of them so far.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a surprise for me that this is my favorite, but like as a big monster, Universal Monsters guy too, like the Mummy's never been my favorite monster, but this execution just blows me out of the water.
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat.
But also this is probably the most on point Mikey expression like that they could have done, of just like a big goofy smile that is emphasized by the fact.
Yeah, picking Mikey here was definitely a good choice.
Yeah. Plus, instant diorama. Not to do.
Yeah, good call.
Crossover, but you want to put Mikey in the sarcophagus? I don't think he'll fit, but
Yeah, put him behind him. You're good to go.
I was gonna say, just put it behind him.
yeah,
That'd
be a
cool.
bitchin' display. Have him popping out of it. It's a snake wrapped around his arm. Moving on, more Mirage goodness.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people hating on this because she's not blue.
Yeah. So, from my understanding, the red comes from the recolored comics, like
Yeah.
the reissues.
The more modern.
The blue is her original look, and
Yep.
that's what I always remember too, is the blue. So,
Yeah.
I totally understand that complaint.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it makes you wonder if they're going to release the blue one another way, and it just kind of makes you like, I don't know. I can totally see why people wouldn't want to buy the red one if the blue one is
If the
definitely
blue one's coming, which
You-
would make
Yeah.
sense as to why they released the red one first.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do a run change?
I don't know.
To
I'm
blue?
not sure how. I've
Yeah.
been wondering, like, because it makes you wonder if that's what they're going to use that for one of their exclusives, which kind of feels like the red one should have been an exclusive. So I don't know. I have no idea how they're going to do it.
That's true. I might.
I loved this character appeared in the 2012 series.
Yep.
And it was awesome. It was
That
so
was,
awesome.
That was Tales of the TMNT.
It was so wonderful. So
Speaking of monster turtles.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know. I think this is so great that they're doing her.
And also, we get the most fantastically 1980s head sculpt.
Look at it.
She is going to teach
Got
you how to
feathered hair.
jazzercise through
Yeah.
the end of time. But yeah, again though, absolutely fantastic. Also, this was something that oh damn, Adam Kumler, thanks man. Speaking of turtle love, interest, personal favorite, April, if you were a turtle. Personal favorite, April, I think I gotta go Paige Turco. I really liked Paige in 2 and 3. Nothing against
And
you,
3. And
but-
3.
but hey, she was.
I know she was. That doesn't mean she has to be a fan. Well, that's fine. I mean, to each their own. Go ahead.
But I think it was because she was in 2 and 3. Like she locks in my head more.
Okay.
Because Secret of the Ooze, like I love the first, but Secret of the Ooze was the one that I was the right age for when it dropped. What about you guys?
Would I be the weird one if I say that the April in the original cartoon is definitely the one that I had the hots for?
Oh damn! I didn't even.
I mean,
think
come on,
about
that yellow jumpsuit. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's something about that. Yeah.
I didn't even think. I didn't even think about the cartoons. I was just thinking actresses.
Well, leave
Damn.
it to me to be the one that's like, yeah,
I like a cartoon.
super hot.
The ravishing reporter.
Ravishing reporter. There you go.
There you
That
go.
is a ridiculous figure.
What's the chance of Dave Sims' Cerebus in this line? 0 or less than 0. I think you're right on with that one. I'm with Pixel Dan.
There you
Man,
go.
bro.
See, it's not just me.
Yeah, Jungle Snake John, Irma.
There
There
you
we
go.
Oh, hey, 2003 April.
There
She
you go.
totally had that. Like, she had her belly showing, but she was also wearing those baggy khakis.
I was
like,
going to
she-
say, it wasn't as bad as if you would have said Cave April.
She was also like 15.
Cave April.
I'll throw it out there, but the 2007, she was fucking Kill Bill. Like she was the bride.
Yeah.
In
you
the
know?
TMNT movie.
Buffy.
Yeah.
Cough,
Yeah.
cough, Megan,
And she was
cough,
voiced
cough,
by
cough.
Buffy. So
But yeah, I love that you get the disembodied head. I think that's so cool. And then my brain also went to, okay, we need a 2012 version where he's blue.
oh yeah.
This definitely has to be a repaint within the next 6 months.
It's
Do you
gotta
think
be.
they'll do something with oh, I don't know. Also, one thing that I noticed, her knees. Look at her knees
Double
as compared
joints?
as compared to like the Judith Hogue April,
Huh.
which were not very good looking. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I don't know. The articulation scheme on this is fantastic. I love Blue Renette 2012. Hell yeah. Plus,
Yeah,
Renette was a badass in the classic comics, but Renette was also
Renette was
a badass
awesome in 2012.
in the
Yeah,
2012.
Mikey was in love with her in 2012.
Yep. Mikey was in love with everybody.
Well,
in the
every
2012.
turtle kind of had their crush in the 2012 series,
Yep.
right? Because Donnie obviously was crushing on April, Raph was crushing on Mona Lisa,
Yep. Leo was Karai.
Leo was Karai, and Mikey was Renette. Yeah.
And then arguably one of the craziest reveals and also one of the slowest damn burns in a reveal ever.
It took like 2 years, right?
Yeah, 2 or 3. The Mezco turtles.
Yeah. They look cool in that picture, man.
But I'm looking at them and I know they're going to be Mezco, so the quality on them is going to be insane. But my brain just goes to they look like highly articulated versions of those first 2012 turtles.
Sure.
They kind of look like the Mondo ones shrunk down.
Oh, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, just like the design of the heads and everything.
I think it's these, the really like triangular forearms, and
So-
you kind of see it in the calves.
So these look great, and everybody's kind of got their favorite. Like I've seen a lot of people that are like, yes, this is now I can finally buy turtles because Mezco, because everybody's got their favorite
Oh yeah, they got their
companies and favorite toy lines. So I have no doubt that these are going to sell fine. But we just talked about how much stuff there is. Like, what's the line? Like, where is there too many?
Yeah.
like everybody's doing turtles now, and it's crazy because for me, I've always said that my focus as a collector is He-Man and Ninja Turtles. And up until about the last couple years,
It's been easy.
That wasn't a problem. That was real easy. But now there's so much for both of them that I am overwhelmed. And I just like there's got to be a tipping point for this.
It's
stuff.
hog heaven, man.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I looked at these and like I don't get me wrong, I have freaking stared at these, like, but I don't know, like. For what Mezco is, what Mezco sets apart from other toy lines is their soft goods.
Yeah.
And the turtles don't got soft goods. They have knee pads, their bandanas, which look sculpted here, their wraps, and their belts. And so it's like, so what's going to set this apart outside of the price point from?
That's what I'm saying. What does this bring to the table as far as new product? How big are these? Do we know?
They're
just regular Mezco
would be
scale.
like 6-inch scale, a little bit bigger than 6-inch, probably.
Marvel Legends scale.
Yeah. So,
yeah,
and I assume, I don't know for sure. I don't even know if they said, but I assume these will be a 4-pack like the Ghostbusters were.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Rubber skin, maybe.
Oh, maybe rubber skin.
You think
the articulation's underneath?
Maybe,
I can't tell in that picture.
No, look at Mike's knee.
Yeah, you can see the cap
you
there,
can see it.
and you can see the cut on him.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate that they didn't edit that out.
Which they heavily edited this. Like I was looking at this and I'm like, that's just lazy. Like I know what brush they used in Photoshop to dirty that up. But I dig it. I mean, I think it's cool. I think it's a great opportunity to see something new from another company. The thing is I'm also looking at it and going, like, again, kind of like what you were saying. What's that breaking point? What's the thing that's going to set these above other figures? Because I would argue Mezco's putting just as many paint apps on a figure. And yes, I know the Mezco Conan is fantastic, Rob. I'm not shitting on that. I'm just saying. Like, we're already getting these insane figures from Neca, from Super 7. What's gonna make these
right? Why should I buy these? It's not that they're bad by any means, but what makes them so much better that I should give my money to Mezco versus any of the other companies? And
I really feel like it's going to hit a different market almost. Like there's going to be crossover. There's going to be people that are just going to buy
because they're Mezco.
Ninja, because
there's just that many Mezco fans.
I was going to say, I think this is going to hit specifically the Mezco fans because I know that there's a that's a large collector community.
It is
all in on the Mezco,
and it's a passionate community.
And it's they are passionate, just like a lot of the Neca collectors are very passionate about Neca and all their products. So I really do feel like there might be a little bit of a divide in the groups of people that buy this. Like there's gonna be crossover. I don't think they're gonna have any problem selling these, is what I'm saying. Sure. I just me as a collector, I am hitting that point where I'm like, I can't go for all of them. I just can't.
Figure Arts too. So, Figure Arts did them.
Yeah, Figure Arts did them. You're right.
I will say the one thing that also made me kind of go, I might pass on these. I want to see it. I want to see better pictures first of all.
Yeah.
I want to see the product, right?
Yeah, but also I don't think we'll get more than this for the turtles.
They might just do the four, and that's kind of that's what happened with the Figure Arts ones. They just did the 4 turtles and then they were done. They teased us with the Shredder that never came.
Yeah,
we just got the 4 turtles. Revel Tech only did the 4 turtles for the 2012 line. And that's kind of a common thing. I don't think Mezco is going to go deep the way Neca has gone deep, or Super 7.
I don't think anyone's going to go as deep as Neca's gone.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think that's another place where that just appeals to a different collector. Like there might be somebody that's just
that makes sense. I didn't even consider that there was a Mezco
really
market.
Awesome, highly detailed turtles. Maybe I'll just grab these Mezcos and I'll be good. But when you want a hardcore collector who wants to go deep,
it's more so it is that curiosity of what are what is going to be the thing that sets you back.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That's something that like. I try to do real hard on this channel. I try not to yuck anybody's yum. Like it's the curiosity in me of going, all right, cool. Mezco's doing turtles. What is going to be the thing that makes these
definitely
level?
I think we can have that discussion, but like totally acknowledge that like there's going to be people that love these. Like they're going to be like these are going to be their turtles, and that's totally cool. Like every toy is somebody's favorite toy. So I never like to everybody's free to love whatever they love. I think it's great that we have so many options.
Oh yeah. And on that note, because that is a perfect segue, Venus is coming back to the comics.
I saw that online just yesterday, I think.
And again, I shouldn't say coming back to the comics. Venus is coming to the comics. Mitch Falcon in the chat.
Mitch is so happy.
Huge Venus fan.
Yeah.
And I this has been one of the most diverse things that I've seen come up in a minute on the turtle boards and stuff like that, because people are like, "What the hell do we need Venus back? What do we?" I'm like, "It's character."
People get so mad about Venus. It's so weird.
Wait, what?
Like at this point, just like, come on,
If there ever was an opportunity to do this character justice, it's in the IDW comics and not a live action series.
There you go.
Sure.
Just putting that out there. But I wanted to put this in there specifically for Mitch. Venus and Megan in 1 year. Everything's coming up Mitch Falcon this year. Mr. Geeky. Okay, so just quick observation. One arm is one of the frog's arms, and the thing on her back is probably the turnstone. That's very true. Oh, yeah, that's creepy.
Whoa, crazy.
That's so wild. Good observation, Mr. Geeky. But that is all the turtle news we have.
That's a lot, though.
That took us up to 10 minutes to the end of the show. Right? But holy crap. Oh, they mentioned something like that on the old turtle. Oh, there you go. The TMNT. Have you gotten your hands on the TMNT Power Ranger crossover figs?
I've got them sitting here. I haven't opened them yet. But I have all of them except for I don't think Shredder's out yet, right?
Shredder hasn't shipped anywhere.
Yeah, but I've got the other sets. So I was curious about them. I don't honestly I'm a casual fan of Rangers. Like that was a little after my time when it was on. Like my little brother was a huge Mighty Morphin fan. So I've got an appreciation for it through his eyes, basically. And I like looking back on it. Like I love a lot of the like creature designs and the Zord stuff. I think that's all really cool. And it's funny, like my son has discovered that on Netflix and he's been watching it a lot lately. That's awesome. So yeah. Oh, did you put it on a 2012 body?
Yeah. So, by far my favorite. I mean, again, not a shocker.
That fits pretty well. Like it's a little off,
Yeah,
but it's
the head joint I had to make. I put some hot glue in there to join them a little bit, but the skin tones are almost dead on. Raph, I did have to touch up the paint on.
I think that looks great
to make it match, but
that's pretty rad.
They make nice little IDW turtles. The Donnie fell like into the chaos that is my turtle display, but
oh no,
that is really cool. Wow.
But yeah, they look the heads look really small on the Ranger bodies.
That's what I keep seeing on the pictures, and that's
and I was like, oh man, that sucks. But then I was like, but if they're really small on those bodies, they'd go really well on.
Like I almost think I like them with their Ranger helmets on better because
that's
like
how
they
I have
just
them all displayed.
Yeah, they just look cooler that way. I don't know, because like they're clearly Ninja Turtles because of their shape and everything. So like I don't know, they're I don't know, the heads, like you kind of mentioned, they almost look like they didn't fit the bodies well. And that's just from the photos I've seen. I haven't opened mine yet, so I gotta mess with them.
The articulation on them is actually really fun.
Is it?
I was genuinely surprised by them, like the range of motion.
I really
you can tell by the way you have them posed. That Mikey on the skateboard is unbelievable.
Yeah, dude, it's the classic tech deck. Like it was one that I had from my fingerboarding days.
It's a personal one. I like that.
You can still see the somewhat faded tech deck on there.
I love it. No, that's awesome. That's so cool.
But yeah, I don't know. Like that honestly made that line one of my lines of the year already because it was just like, get these.
Yeah.
But Brian Flynn mentioned some kind of TMNT crossover wave was coming and that it was going to be with a property we haven't seen before.
Really? Where did he say that? I
don't know. Thundercats? Silverhawks? Like, is it going to cross over with
he owns
My Little Pony,
right? So they could do that.
Transformers? Oh, Godzilla? Like, give us kaiju turtles.
Kaiju turtles would be great.
Oh my god, that's so perfect.
Right?
I've got one of those. Did you guys ever see those big kaiju like
Cookie Monster and
the Vine? No, like they were like they did a line of
Shogun
TMNT.
Warriors?
No, they're not Shogun Warriors, but they're like with the Sofubi vinyl. So I've got like a big. I've got the Donatello because he's all like metallic purple, but he looks like
and they were kind of chunky.
They're real chonky looking. Yeah. I don't remember what company. Toy Tokyo maybe did that.
Yeah, they were big though.
They're huge. So I've got just the Donatello, but he's real cool because he just looks like a big kaiju. He's got like big sharp teeth and he's on my shelf up here.
Now I want kaiju turtles like real.
Yeah, that's such a great idea.
Mr. Geek, whoa. TMNT and Star Trek.
They've done that before though.
Yeah, that's where I'm like, what haven't we seen? But real quick, before we wrap up the show, Dan, what do you have coming up? I know you've kind of teased on your social media. You've been doing some fantastic photography for a project that might have to do something that's going on that we've been talking about for the last 2 hours. But what's up in your world, man?
Yeah, so we can talk about it a little bit, but I don't want to get super.
You don't have to go too far.
But if you guys have followed me specifically on Instagram, because that's where I put it, you might see that I've been taking a lot of photos of specifically the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy line. And if you've been following me for the last couple years, you might, I don't know, you might have seen this, or maybe you own it. And I've talked about a couple times on this show that my big two are He-Man and Turtles, and there's seems to be a natural progression of things since I've already knocked out the He-Man toy line as a guidebook. So I might be working on something to that effect. I'm hoping to have a lot more solid information on it, hopefully by I want to say middle of this year, maybe towards the end of this year. Really, it's not a fast process by any means, and I want to be as thorough as possible. What I will say is the Masters of the Universe book that I did, I was able to cover everything from 1982 all the way through the end of Masters Classics, which was
Buy the book in the link below.
2019. Oh, thank you so much. Yes, the book is still available. The book is available on Amazon or any of your comic shops or Barnes and Noble. It's at Target. It's at Target of all places. It's amazing.
That's great.
Buy it. It's worth
Yeah.
it.
So, Masters, I was able to put all of that in one book, 82 through 2019, and a 700-page book. It's a big book.
Whew.
Ninja Turtles.
Whee!
That's impossible. That can't happen. The original toy line that went from 87 through 98 is already bigger than this. Bigger than
Really?
everything. Masters.
Damn.
So it's what I'm specifically focusing on is that original toy line as of right now. But if that's something that comes together well and that everybody likes and they want to see more, I can always do more volumes to add on the other things, because I would love to keep writing about this stuff. It's been a really cool change of pace from everything I've been doing. Like, the YouTube's great, right? I have a lot of fun doing this, but this was like a dream project for me. This Masters of the Universe book. It's my favorite toy line. It's the first time I ever got to officially work on the brand, which was amazing.
You named a figure.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
No.
It was awesome. It was a really cool experience, and the reception to it has been phenomenal. I've been blown away by just the nice things people have been saying. I'm so glad people enjoy the book. And
They definitely do, man. I picked up a book from you in Texas, I think.
Texas, yeah.
I brought it home, and no joke, I read it to my son just because he likes Masters, he likes figures. So bedtime stories, he just likes to flip through the pages, and we read about a couple figures that night.
That is so amazing. That is
He
so
loves
amazing.
it. And I know that it's not just me. The fan base in general, with Masters specifically, they've really taken this book on as their own, and that they really love it. And if you're doing anything like that, whether it's Turtles or any other line, I mean, I think you've proven yourself with the Masters book, and I think the success you're going to have with future books alike are just going to be bigger and better.
I will say,
thank you.
I'm not a Motu collector because I know it's a slippery slope. I have the handful that were hand-me-downs that I still have that Ollie plays with and everything, but Ollie got super into Motu, and so I messaged you before. We've been flipping through that, and he's been losing his mind over seeing all these new characters that they're new to him. Like, seeing him discover Webstore was just like,
oh man, whoa. It is just the coolest. I'll tell you what, it's been, so this past year has basically been like my book tour, right? Because things started opening up again, and it was nice to kind of get out there and do some conventions. And since the book came out in April, that's basically what people were bringing me in for, was to do book signings. And talking to people, it has been just mind-blowing at the things they've been saying about the book. And especially, you guys have mentioned your kids, the amount of kids that have come up to me at shows and their parents have said to me, my son has read your book cover to cover. He reads it every night before bed. He reads it. That is mind-blowing to me. And it's that is one of the biggest compliments I could have ever received. You know what I mean? It's
That's
so
awesome, dude.
It's a whole new generation, man.
Cool. I love it. I love it.
You opened the gates. You opened the gates to Castle Grayskull for the next gen.
It was one of the best things I've ever worked on. It was one of the hardest things I've ever worked on. One of the most stressful things, and also one of the scariest things, because I really put myself out there with it. And my biggest fear was that I was going to put it out and everybody was going to hate it. I was just waiting for all the people pointing out everything that's wrong and but it's been nothing but love. It's been awesome. So it's really encouraging, and it makes me want to continue down that path, which I've already started on. And I'm excited to reveal more when the time is right. So
you know that something is absolutely phenomenal when Joe Shoes puts it over on all of his branded products. Just throwing that out there. Also, Noni threw a super chat in. Pixel Dan, are you getting Super 7 and Neca Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan?
Yeah, probably. I will probably get both of them. So let me be honest. I did not pre-order the Super 7 one. I hadn't pulled the trigger on it because that price was scary.
That's fine.
It doesn't mean that I won't still pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's still time.
there's still time, and I've got that extra thing going on where I do this on YouTube. So sometimes I can justify these things by going, well, it's content, and people will probably want to watch this to see what it looks like before they decide if they want it. So sometimes that nudges me. So I think it's very possible I'll end up with it. Yes.
Hell yeah. Well, end it on a high note, my friend. Michael Palmer would like to put it out there. Can we just all agree that Pixel Dan is just the best?
Hell yeah, 100% agree with that.
Nice. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Dan, thank you so much for coming on, man. Thank you for being such a proponent of the community too, out there.
Thank you for having me.
This was being a positive voice in the community too, because that shit is rare. In the scene.
It's also not easy all the time, and so just to speak to that real quick, and I won't get hung up on that. I feel like I'm a positive person, like in general. Like Dan has hung out with me a few times in person. Like, I don't know, I'm pretty much the same guy you're talking to right now in person.
100%,
right?
Absolutely.
So it gets hard sometimes because there is a lot of negativity out there, and it gets draining, and sometimes the stuff it's not fun sometimes when there's that much negativity out there, and I just need to sometimes pull myself back, and I sit out for a little bit until something sparks that fun for me again, and then I dive back into it. So that's kind of like my advice to everybody. Like, find the fun and try to hang on to that fun, and if you're missing the fun, take a step back for a little bit.
Keep scrolling, right?
Yeah, just take a step back for a little bit, take a time out, take a break, and then when you find that fun, you can dive back in.
Hell yeah! Well, we've got all of our socials in the chat too. Go follow. I'm sure most of you already follow and subscribe to Pixel Dan. Dan over there has the Bitter Marks podcast in addition to all of his other podcasts and shows. We even have Joe Shoe's social media in there from the 24-hour stream.
Mitch does it all.
I didn't realize Mitch also gave us all nicknames. Dave the Wet and Wild, Wave Ride and Artist. We got let's see. Oh no, where'd it go? Dan the Zero Gravity Garage Sale guy.
Hey, I like that.
Oh no, where'd Pixel Dan's go? No.
He's looking for that. Dan, do you have any dates coming up?
Any big shows?
Like appearances?
Yeah.
So I'm kind
anywhere
of
people can find you?
The non-stop mutating reviewer.
I'm for sure going to be at Retropalooza Houston and Retropalooza Arlington. I already booked for both of those.
Great.
Hell yeah.
So I'll be at both of those shows. I think Houston is coming up in June, I think, right? And then Arlington is always in October.
Yeah, I think it's May, October, but somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Look it up.
May, October. Yeah. So definitely at those two shows. I'm working on I've got a couple invites that I'm still working through. So stay tuned on social media because I'll announce all my dates once I've got everything locked in.
Dude, Retro asks when you're coming to Virginia.
When I'm coming to, I don't know, find somebody to invite me to Virginia.
Get that man a plane ticket.
I would love to come.
So Dan is Space Cadet Raph and P. Danny is Mutagen Man.
Oh, I love it.
I was going to say, those sound really familiar. But on that note, thank you everybody in the chat for hanging out, being a part of this as always. We'll be back next month. Pixel Dan, you're always more than welcome. If you want to hang out for a minute after the credits, I'll show you some crazy turtle stuff. But,
all right, Brian.
as always, thank you so much, everybody in the chat. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Dan's.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, guys. This has been great.
Doors always open, bro. Hey, 24-hour stream coming up in November. If you want to pop on for a bit,
I'll
send you the invite.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Turtle power.
Right.
Take care, guys.
And someone power down Mitch. Ah, macho. Russ, you're not late. You're just on Shartimus time. Love you, buddy.